Drake just completely lost it in public. And this meltdown was caught on camera. You have to see this to believe it. Now listen, they're really upset with me. They don't want me saying this, and they definitely don't want you hearing it. So before we go any further, make sure to leave a like. Seriously, hit that like button so everyone can see how Drake just got humiliated in one of the most direct and unapologetic ways we've ever seen. Get ready, because this one's wild. If you're ready to see something rare, this moment, caught on camera, shows Drake in a real-life confrontation. What we ended up witnessing might just be one of the most embarrassing moments we've ever seen from this guy. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because this clip is unbelievable. What we're seeing from Drake right now has the potential to go completely viral. It shows him acting in a way we've never really seen before, raw, unfiltered, and honestly pathetic. I've got to say this. They don't want you to see it, and they don't want me telling these stories. But make sure you like and subscribe, because no matter what happens, Drake Day is always going to end up being humiliating, not just for him, but for the whole OVO crew. So here's what's happening. A clip recently surfaced, maybe from a few months or a couple of years ago, showing Drake in a heated confrontation. In it, he completely loses his composure, goes into full meltdown mode, and then storms off pretending like he needs to be held back. But let's be honest, we all know he wasn't going to do anything. Just look at him. I could keep hyping it up, but honestly, the clip speaks for itself. So sit back, relax, and if you haven't already, hit that like button and watch it for yourself. And you know what? We got to run that clip back one more time, because it's almost hard to believe what we're seeing. Just look at Drake getting angry and acting ridiculous. Run it back, because this is one of those moments you have to see twice. So yeah, that's the clip. This might just be the moment that goes viral, showing a side of Drake we've never seen before. It's honestly hilarious, and I can't believe we're lucky enough that someone caught it on camera, and that Drake's people didn't manage to intimidate them into deleting it. Now, what's actually happening here? Well, this all went down in Turks and Caicos. If you followed any of the backstory, especially after Kendrick Lamar called him out during their beef, you know Drake has a habit of running off to this place whenever things get tough. It's one of his favorite getaways. I don't even want to imagine what goes on during these trips. Probably something pathetic and embarrassing. Apparently, while Drake was out at a club in Turks and Caicos, he got kicked out of his section. And instead of handling it calmly, he went full-on meltdown mode. A mega-care moment, if you will. We got to slow it down and really take a look, because seeing Drake like this, that's a rare sight. We don't get to see moments like this often. And honestly, just look at Drake pulling out that classic Karen finger point move. Wow. After all the talk he does, you can't help but think Kendrick Lamar must have known this was how Drake handles real confrontation. Maybe that's one of the many reasons Kendrick was always so confident. Because deep down, he knew Drake would crumble under pressure. Seriously, watching Drake try to act tough by pointing his finger over and over again is just embarrassing. If this is how I look trying to confront someone, I wouldn't even bother. You're being pushed out of a club, trying to act big while wagging your finger in the air. Come on, man. What could they have possibly said to him? I tried to track down exactly when this clip came out, but my best guess is sometime in 2024 or 2025. Still, it makes you wonder. Maybe someone said something about his lyrics, not like us, or even brought up the beef with Kendrick. Whatever it was, it clearly struck a nerve, because Drake completely lost his composure and ended up looking ridiculous. Now, as we keep watching this embarrassing footage, after Drake gets all worked up and storms toward his car, still pointing that finger, things get even worse. He starts yelling at the bouncer, who looks absolutely fed up. You can almost read his lips saying something like, "Drake, you got to get out of here." And judging by Drake's face, he did not take that well. What's funny here is how Drake always tries to carry himself like he runs every place he visits, whether it's Toronto, the Bahamas, or Turks and Caicos. He loves calling himself the mayor of wherever he goes. But this video completely shatters that illusion. Seeing security put a hand on him, push him toward the exit, and yell at him, while he yells back, really shows how fake that tough guy image is. It's all an act, just like the persona he tries to project on his records. When you compare the things Drake says in his diss tracks to the way he behaves here, all that finger pointing, that sassy meltdown, it becomes painfully clear Drake's just playing character. From what we can tell, the situation unfolded after Drake's section at the club was apparently given away. He got upset, started arguing, and ended up being escorted out. The captions on the clip even read, Drake getting into a fight after they gave his section away in Turks and Caicos. Another line says, damn, they gave my boy's section away. So yeah, Drake's reaction, the finger pointing, the yelling, the storming off of his OVO crew, all just reinforces what we've seen time and time again. The difference between the image he sells and the reality of who he really is. The caption on the clip reads, he acting bad, and honestly, that says it all. Once again, this moment just reinforces the idea that Drake doesn't actually run the places or scenes he constantly brags about controlling. If anything, it seems like he's getting kicked out of clubs more often than he's running them. What's interesting is that the claim was Drake was acting bad, which is apparently why his section was taken away. I tried digging for more details about the situation, but there isn't much out there. The only real chatter comes from Drake's stands defending him, calling the establishment a joke and swearing they'll never go there again. Meanwhile, they're terrified of this clip spreading because they know exactly how bad it makes him look. It shows Drake, as what he's been accused of being for years, a finger-pointing, overdramatic cupcake Karen who can't handle confrontation. He gets called out, loses his composure, and immediately goes into hold me back mode, even though there's clearly nothing to hold back. Watching him get kicked out for acting bad and being disrespectful really gives us a glimpse into who he is when the cameras aren't supposed to be rolling. And that's important, because in the current state of hip-hop, there's been this huge push to defend and protect Drake. Some people try to paint him as the only good thing left in the genre, positioning him as a victim while everyone else is a problem. But moments like this completely destroy that narrative. When you actually see how he behaves in public, unfiltered, emotional, entitled, it becomes obvious that the image his team and OVO try to project is far from reality. The Drake we're shown online and in interviews is carefully manufactured. The Drake we see in this clip is something else entirely. Contrast that with Kendrick Lamar. Whenever he's caught off guard or seen in public, he seems calm, grounded, and genuinely decent. Despite all the accusations and narratives Drake's camp has tried to push against him, there's not a single piece of real evidence showing Kendrick acting out of line. Nothing. These moments reveal a lot about character, especially for celebrities who are used to performing. How someone acts when they think no one's watching says everything. And for Drake, to see him have a meltdown like this over something as petty as losing a club section is telling. You have to wonder, when Drake goes on these trips to places like Turks and Caicos or the Bahamas, places he loves to call his spots, does he actually think he's above everyone else there? Does he believe the rules don't apply to him? Because watching how he behaves, it really feels like he moves through these places in a bubble, convinced that his fame lets him act however he wants. And yet, somehow, very little ever leaks out from these escapades. Moments like this one are rare, and that's exactly why it's so revealing. And then, out of nowhere, an 8-second clip drops, and suddenly, we've learned more about Drake than we ever expected to. We now know he's terrible at handling confrontation. When he's angry, his go-to move is the classic Karen finger point. We also know that he was kicked out of a major club, to the point where even security told him to leave. And the reason? Simply because of the way he was acting. That's what really stands out here. In most situations, especially in celebrity-heavy spots, the staff and security almost always side with a famous person. Drake, of all people, would want you to think that he's the exception, that he's the one running things. So for the club to turn on him and actually kick him out, it makes you wonder what really happened that night. What could Drake have done that was bad enough to get him thrown out and to set off such a meltdown afterward? Now that this clip is starting to go viral, it couldn't have come at a worse time for him. He's been trying hard to rebuild his image, putting everything on his character and credibility. But then a moment like this surfaces. It's not just damaging, it's revealing. It shows us who he really is beneath the polished persona. What's even more intriguing is that this might not be the only clip from that night. Are there other videos out there? More footage? Any eyewitness accounts explaining what really went down? Because based on what we've seen, this isn't just a minor outburst. It's a full-blown meltdown, a rare glimpse into the unfiltered, unguarded Drake that we almost never get to see. And to the die-hard Drake fans out there, this should be a wake-up call. The man you built your entire fandom around isn't the same person behind closed doors. Everything he does, every PR move, every moment of charm, is part of a carefully built facade meant to keep you hooked and protect a false image of who he is. Drake isn't just a performer on stage. He's performing all the time. What we're seeing in this clip is a real Aubrey Graham, privileged, entitled, angry, and out of control. Sure, there's a bit of acting in how he tries to look tough while yelling and pretending to need to be held back. But beneath it all, his true nature still shows. Hopefully, more information surfaces soon, because it's clear there's more to this story. For now, though, this clip speaks volumes. Keep it in the back of your mind. Add it to the growing list of moments that Kendrick Lamar probably already knew about, maybe even hinted at in his diss tracks, but never fully revealed. Because every time Drake throws out one of those dramatic, sassy finger points, his reputation takes another hit. And with his viral meltdown in Turks and Caicos spreading fast, Drake might need to find a new escape spot. The one he's been calling his sanctuary might now be remembered for the night he completely lost control. And somehow, after everything we've already seen, this might just be the beginning of his reputation's downfall. And that's all I've got for today. Let me know your thoughts on Drake acting like this, looking like an absolute fool, and what you think this could mean. Honestly, from the way he got kicked out, to how angry he was, to the bouncer having to tell him to leave, it's clear that something feels off. We really need answers, because the way this all went down just doesn't add up. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out and ensures these stories reach more people. I can't thank you enough for that. I also hope you have an amazing day and a fantastic week ahead. And if you want to stick around a bit longer, check out how, just before this incident, Drake attempted to do comedy and acting, and not very well. Honestly, maybe he's better at acting than rapping, because I found more enjoyment watching him on screen than I have from his music in years. Be sure to check out the suggested video.